have your fear, which might become reality. And you have Godzilla, which is reality.
I'm sick of Godzilla.
Wake up, everyone!
There are two things you don't know about the Earth. One is me, and the other is Godzilla.
We're safe here. No human being can understand that. The monsters on Monster Island can understand it.
Whether he returns or not, or is never again seen by human eyes, the things he has taught us remain.
And we're back from New York, from Atlanta, from wherever we've been. It has been a long couple of weeks. Jay, we hung out in person.
Yeah,
we
you're
got
real
to
again.
Toy store.
Yeah.
Is this the first recording since we were in New York?
It is. Yeah, it is.
I have no idea how time works anymore.
Yeah, I dropped a little edutainment video
yeah.
last week just to, some people were reaching out. They're like, "Are you guys okay? It's your episode's not out." And I'm like, "Oh, guys, I got you covered. I need while we rest and just recoup for this episode today. I want you to learn about the top 10 underrated performances in the Godzilla franchise." And so everybody, there was great rejoicing. So yes,
thank you, Jay. Thank you for doing that. Happy to be back. We got to do some toy hunting and together at Toy Tokyo in New York. And one of my favorite things, I don't know if you saw, I put this little video together, and I don't know if you can hear it because I don't know if it's got music behind it. We posted it on YHS, but it's just like a B-roll compilation of stuff over the weekend. But there's this really fun section in the video where we're in Toy Tokyo and you spot a toy that you want.
Yeah.
And you're like, "Oh, I'm buying that." And I caught it up. You're like telling Abby what the toy is, and it's like you're teaching her, and it's just like
hopefully it didn't come off as like mansplaining, because I wasn't doing that. I just get really excited.
It comes across like you might be 6 years old.
Much better, much voice-plaining. No, it's I just start like because I care about this. Everybody does.
Yeah.
Abby's a good sport. That was super fun. I had a good time with you and Craig and Abby and AJ, and go to Toy Tokyo and Forbidden Planet and doing some hunting. Maybe not a ton of finding, but some hunting.
Yeah, we looked.
We looked a lot. It was just fun to be out there in real life at real stores.
I bought Animal Crossing toys. Very overpriced Animal Crossing toys.
That's for your other podcast, your Animal Crossing podcast.
I'll get one going. Hey, I don't know if you know anything about Animal Crossing. Do you?
I don't. I do not.
Really quick, it's like you have an island.
Mm-hmm.
You live on an island, and basically the whole game is you building that island up, putting houses, crops, wherever you want. It's very relaxing, but you have to name your island. And my island is Odo Island.
I mean, you have a lot to choose from. Staying within the world of kaiju, you have a ton of them. So, Ogasawara, Odo. I mean, you got a ton.
I went classic, went with Odo. So
nice.
Very good.
I love it, dude.
Man, what a weird episode. We're going to talk a lot of news today. I think you watched something. I'm going to tell you. Yeah. Jay, do you have a Letterboxd account?
I don't know. I know of Letterboxd. I'm not active on it.
I have a Letterboxd account, and I basically just use it to keep track of the movies I watch.
Yeah.
And I want to tell you what my last 4. It tells you your recent activity, what the last 4 movies you watched were. These are the last 4 movies I've watched: Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, Roadhouse, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, and then Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. And let's do a bonus, number 5, Roadhouse the remake.
Oh, where's Shin Kamen Rider?
I don't know, dude. I don't know. I have not
just cut one of those Frozen Empires and throw in Shin Kamen Rider.
I have not had time. So we started watching. We watched the first half of Roadhouse right before we left for New York.
The original?
I'd never seen it.
Yeah.
So we watched like the first half of the original Roadhouse, but then we had to go to New York, and then we saw Ghostbusters, and then we got back. We finished Roadhouse, and then we watched Ghostbusters 2 more times. And then on the last, the last night, while we were in New York, the remake of, I was like, well, I got to see the remake.
Yeah, and they get to see the
And I'm the only one who stayed awake to watch the remake. I was like, I'm watching this.
No Terry Funk in the remake, though.
No Terry Funk. But whatever. But Post Malone is in it for some reason. It was not.
Hey,
good.
the pride of Grapevine, Texas, where I live. He's a graduate of Grapevine High School. I don't know anything about Post Malone, but I know that.
Well, Jay,
he's very popular here.
He's very popular everywhere. I don't get it. What did you watch?
Well, I can tell you something. I've been watching, and it's something I watched last night. So what I've been watching. So this isn't anything new. I've been. I don't even know how many months ago it was. I started, rewatching a lot of the Showa era Ultra stuff, Ultra Q, Ultraman, Ultra 7. I did all my videos, and I started down Return of Ultraman. Got like 30 or so episodes in, and it was fine. But then I got hooked on rewatching Spectre Man, and then I just kept on rewatching it and rewatching it and rewatching the rewatch. And then I started watching some Mirror Man. I was like, I woke up to that. I was like, you know what? I need to pick back up Return of Ultraman and get back on that. At least hit up like a lot of the Showa era ones. And so I've been rewatching that one a lot. And I rewatch and like basically for the first time, because it's been so long since I've seen those. I watched one of the episodes that is considered within the whole Ultra continuum, like all Ultra series, one of the best episodes there is. And I'm not going to spoil anything or whatever, but like it's like episode, it's in the 30s. It's about a boy that is essentially orphaned and is raised by an alien being, and basically both of them get picked on because they're different and stuff. And it's just cruel and dark and emotional. There's an exploding dog in it, which makes me really sad, but it fits in the story. It fits in the story. Like it's not and the episode before it was like really super light and goofy, and I watched it and I was like, holy cow. Like I have yet to see, like, and Return of Ultraman has some good episodes, but it has some clunkers. I forgot like the I think now it means maybe more to me now. I'm a little bit older than I watched last time. Like it was a really well done episode. And what is it called?
Wow.
The Boy and the Monster User or something like that. I forgot, but it's excellent. I do like recommend anybody that like hasn't rewatched it in a long time or has not watched Return of Ultraman to at least watch that episode. It's really good. And like I said, it'll just messes with you because it's so well done. So I've been rewatching a lot of that, and I feel like Return of Ultraman, it has some high highs and some low lows. It's not, I think of the first four series, I do think it's the weakest, but I'm going to rewatch the entire 90 episodes or whatever it is, a lot.
You got
so it's not Ultra 7, it's not Ultra Q, it's not Ultraman, but
are they like 20 minute? Are they like 20-minute episodes?
Yeah, they're normal episodes. Yeah, they're normal episodes, and which is crazy. It goes by so fast because after rewatching, literally, I think I've watched Spectre Man all the way through all 63 episodes. I think twice now since I started because I just love it so much. But they have a cool series where there's 63 episodes. There's 3 one-parters, and then there's 32 parters. So almost every episode of Spectre Man is really 2, 24, 25-minute episodes. So everything's kind of really like a 50-minute episode. And it's like you kind of watch them in those clusters. Whereas like I'm back to just like, no, it's a monster of the week. Bam, bam. Yeah. But it's good. It's good. And Ultraman Jack is great. And Jiro Dan, he passed away a year or so ago now, so it was very sad, and it's add some extra weight to it. But so I watched that. But then last night I watched this little show on YouTube called Toy Anxiety. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
This doesn't count.
Oh, it does totally count. So no, it's Toy Anxiety was great. You guys, everybody that listens to this, if you don't, go check out Toy Anxiety. It is one of the most popular toy tuber shows out there. Anyway, it is. No, it truly is. But I wanted to actually tie this back to our show because the topic that you guys spoke about, I thought did really well in depth kind of conversation on is the toy boom over, and really tying it to like what you see at toy shows when you go out there, and just kind of how Target now, as opposed to like during the pandemic and after, like it's stocked and there's lots of toys. Who's buying this? Like it just seems like the bubble's bursting, right? or has burst. But I was curious because I don't think we see that as much in our world of when we really specifically focus on like Sofubi and higher end vinyl toys and things like that. And I'm curious. I wonder, like, I was thinking, like, is it protected or insulated or just different or follows a different kind of economic trend? Because some people view it so much as art. There's small production runs, and there's always going to be small production runs. So there's not this like big mass bubble. It just feels different because you don't see. I don't feel like a bubble's bursting anytime on that. No. I could be wrong, but I don't.
It's different. I think it's different. That's a very interesting thing to bring up. Well, one thing is because kaiju toys are better. They're just better toys, and it's a different. We've talked about it, tons of times. It's different. Kaiju toys, like you just said, they are a lot of times considered a little more art pieces. They're going to be more expensive than your stuff you're getting at Target or whatever. But it's because there's so much of it. I think, Jay. It's because there's so many. The people who love kaiju toys in Sofubi is a different kind of person than the people who are like only buying G.I. Joe or Marvel Legends or something. And there's so much to choose from constantly. There's no bubble to burst. It is just gonna keep going forever. So I think it's a different.
And I feel the one that on that, like, there's a lot of selection and everything's in small batches. So like that adds to the selection, right? But also, like, no company, I don't say no, because obviously there's Playmates and those, but I'm saying in our kind of Sofubi world, there's no company that's banking everything a quarter success on one toy line, right? Like if the marbled Pigmons aren't selling, I can make a glitter Biolante and maybe whatever, because it's like 50 and 100 at a time. As opposed to like, Mattel and Hasbro, like there's a significant cost because they're making tens of thousands. And if it warms the peg, then obviously that's a big financial implication. Whereas these smaller indie shops, though they don't have as many resources, they're trying to hit singles and doubles, not massive home runs. And it's a fascinating topic because it is so. And I'm curious, like, even if the vinyl toy, designer toy, Sofubi, that world is even different from like the higher end collectibles, the X Plus, the realistic ones, the hot toys in the non-kaiju world. I'm curious if that bubble is different than Sofubi because it's maybe less art, but almost more investment, decorative piece. I don't know. It's very odd.
We could do a whole episode about just that. It's probably a little different, but I mean, still, it's like, I feel like people who are kaiju collectors are usually people who have been into this stuff like their entire lives. And it's like so ingrained. And it's like every Sofubi collector I know, it's like part of their identity. You know what I mean? It's like just part of their, and that might be different than the people who just decided to start buying retro toys because the pandemic was happening. So
oh, and there are a lot of them. I mean, hey, it's funny because I know in the show you guys mentioned a few like toys and toy lines and big purchases that you made during the pandemic. They're like, why did I do that? Most of them luckily sold off. I honestly, like, I look back and I'm like, holy cow, like, I collected a whole line of NECA Ninja Turtles. I had all this other stuff. Dude. Yeah, and I mean, the only thing I kept. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
I was the only thing that I kept that like I was gonna get pandemic or not, probably because I started before the pandemic, was rebuying my Dino Riders collection. That's literally the only thing I've kept. Everything else that there was, I've like sold or like kept one of like 10.
I mean, I started buying Masters of the Universe stuff, and I hate Masters. Like, I've never ever bought it in my life, and I had a fucking Castle Grayskull. You know what I mean? I was like, what am I doing? Sold it all, but whatever.
What a weird time, man.
Weird time. We live in a weird world, Jay. Yes, everything's weird. I'm looking over at my toys, and I'm like, this is what I do with my life.
Oh, so. My pickups today are gonna push the envelope of weirdness. Believe me.
Well, dude, speaking of pickups, let's do it.
Let's do it, man. I got, and I have a nice amount of stuff. It's a lot of smalls from a size standpoint. Some of these are great pieces and not Like they're not like that's not to mean that they're cheap by any means, but they just randomly this week like
they're smaller.
They're smaller. I went very small,
hey,
but
same.
I also got one thing that for the show it's kind of significant, and I kind of forgot because I got it a little bit ago, but I gotta unveil this one too. But I'll get to that in a second. It's a big one. So I'll start off. So our good buddy Chaz Foreman, who does Kaiju Go with me. He's a great artist. He has an amazing collection. He actually decided to start selling off a significant portion of his Sofubi collection. And Chaz is interested. He's a true like artist first, right? He is a true artist, and his collection is so cool and just it's done in a way that like my brain doesn't operate this way. So I'm like, it's kind of like amazed by like, oh, how did you pick that one and that one and that one? Because it has nothing to do with a media property that he likes. It's truly all based on like form and color and sculpt type. Like he's like, I love primitive, so I'm going to get these. And I love, the bootleg style. It just, he has this amazing, really awesome collection that's like heavily curated, but just how it was displayed, it was just beautifully like this goes with that. Like nothing looks like it's out of place. And you don't have to know what any of it is.
Right.
Like you don't have to know that was from this movie or that is a bootleg of this. Like it just looks like it all went together, right? So he decided to sell off. So I had dinner with him and our good buddy Ryan Wilhelm, and we did a little impromptu trunk show where we were like, I want that. Can I have that? Can I have that? Are you selling that? But Chaz was so great and gave us some really sweet stuff. But I want to share some of the stuff that I got that I absolutely just fell in love with some of this stuff. But it is just very random. Yeah, the first one. So Chaz has this awesome collection of pachi stuff, of bootleg stuff. And one of them was this great 70s tokusatsu show called Lion Maru. And Lion Maru is basically like a superhero that has a giant lion head. And I think it's it might be P Production, it might be the same people that did Spectre Man. Yeah. Anyway, and he had this awesome, it's so light it feels like it's a blow mold. But I think it's actually just kind of like a real light soft vinyl of Lion Maru, a bootleg Lion Maru from the late 70s. And so look at this guy. Look at this guy. it's just the right amount of bootleg. But it is like, it's so cool.
It just looks like somebody glued a lion head on a Ultraman.
Well, that's what the show looks like. So, this is amazing. There's some real cool toys, but I just love that it's vintage. It is a vintage bootleg of a very obscure property, and on top of that, even if it looked exactly like the character did, it's still going to be weird looking. But this was really cool. Ryan Wilhelm and I almost got a fisticuffs over this one. This is one of my favorite.
Very cool.
But speaking of bootleg, that wasn't the only bootleg I got from him. I got these. These are actually blow molds. But we were talking about Spectre Man. I got a Spectre Man and a Dr. Gory gold plastic blow molds here. Also bootleg, unlicensed. Yeah,
those are cool.
Yeah, I mean they are like the cheapest, lightest plastic you can think of, and they're just amazing. You can
those are awesome.
See through it.
It looks like Dr. Zaius and C-3PO.
It totally does. And I mean, I guarantee you, because this is the 70s, right? Yeah. I guarantee you this was used in other places, and they just said it was Planet of the Apes. And,
I'm 100%.
Yeah,
sure
this one you literally could, you just take off this little spike, and it basically C-3PO. So those are the pachis. I also got another small, staying in the realm of tokusatsu. This was not bootleg. This is actually from Popey. But look at this guy. I'm not a Sentai guy, but I do like Hamitsu Sentai Go Ranger, the very first one. I got an Aka Ranger. Look at this little dude. Whoa. Look at that. This is soft goods, jumpsuit, and a vinyl cape, and his little like rubber head. Even like the detail on the little belt and everything. This thing is so cool. I love Aka Ranger. And like I said, this is like, if this just doesn't say like 70s toy, it almost has like a mini Mego type vibe to it. I don't know. I absolutely love it.
It just looks like a stunt. It looks like a stunt man, Like
100%.
Get on a motorcycle.
He's like evil. Can you look? And he's a bendy.
That's cool. That's awesome.
So, okay, now into the other things I got from Chaz that are really cool. So 2 more. This one, you're going to like this one. You're going to like this one a lot because it's US toys. It's not shampoo series, but it's a bigger US toy.
Okay.
It's an older U.S. toy.
By the way, I'm trying not to sneeze. So
no
if you see
worries.
me making a weird face. I got a little bit of a cold.
I thought I was just building this up really well.
No, I'm just like I keep like I could tell I'm making a weird face, and I'm like, oh, I'm just trying not to.
We can edit it out.
Explode out of my nose while we're talking.
I'll put like a Dr. Gory face over you or something. But here he is. Look at this U.S. toy. Boom!
Oh my god, Jay.
It's hard to kind of see on the screen, but it almost looks like it's glass. Like it's like
beautiful.
It's just enough transparent on this Garmon. And this is big. I mean, like I'm trying to find. I don't have a U.S. toy handy next to me, but let's just say that this Dr. Gory is about the size of a U.S. toy normal, and so it's a little bit bigger.
Yeah,
so
that's a good size.
Yeah, and it's beautiful. It's so
great.
good. Yeah, and I was really excited. I was surprised he was selling this one because I was like, "Oh, you sure? Sure?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I go, "Okay, no takesy backsies." This is really cool. Now
That's awesome. I'm jealous of that one.
The big piece from a size standpoint from Yamanaya and Tsuburaya, we the other day it was funny on the show I showed off my Gengo from Max Toy and I said this is like for me the best Gengo sculpt, and Chaz was like maybe, but I have a challenger, and you know what, he's right. I still might lean towards the Max Toy because
we'll see what you got.
Maybe because of colorway, but look at this from Yamanaya. Look at this giant Gengo.
Whoa.
More like the screen accurate colors, if you will. Yeah. But from Yamanaya, this is about 9 inches tall, 8.5 inches tall. Really cool Gengo here.
We saw at the toy show, Second Chance Toys was there, and they had a Gengo on their table, and it was just like the Bandai, generic. Like it was cool, but both Abby and Jess were like, "Who is that?" And they were both like looking them up, and I thought that they were gonna like both try to buy it. Neither one ended up buying it, but they were both like, "What is that guy?"
Oh yeah, he's a space rascal, man.
Yeah,
he's one of the best. Okay, so the next thing I got, not from Chaz, this is also from the 70s.
Okay,
it's definitely different for me, but I absolutely love it. Going back to Spectre Man, look at this. This is an inflatable beach ball with a little bell in it. But you look at this art. Look at this. There's Gory and Karas.
Wow.
And then you have, look at that, Midron, and then there's Spectre Man. Look at him there.
That is so cool.
Oh yeah, so I'm hanging this from the ceiling. It's the White Jets of Monster Island chandelier. Okay, this is something I picked up, and this goes along with our episode now. This is probably the greatest toy of all time.
Of all time.
I got I got Titanus Doug and Suka. Oh yes.
You had to.
I had to. I saw that. I was like, I was buying a
if
gift
you see
for
a Doug, you buy a Doug.
Buy that. Oh yeah, you buy a Doug. Okay, so the next few things I got are really awesome. This one I think you'll dig. From Wonderfest this past year from Sunguts, I got my Angarason. Look at this guy.
Yeah,
it's great. It's great. I love this color. This brown
good.
with a the metallic blue here almost comes off as purple in real life. It is blue, but it's pretty cool, and it has just a touch on the stomach there on the underbelly. It looks beautiful. I love this guy.
Yeah, that's great. That's a good little chunk. Like he's chunky. That's a good looking sculpt.
It might be my favorite Ankaras. Yeah. It really might be. To be honest with you, like I really think it's my favorite one from a sculpt standpoint.
Yeah.
The other thing I got now, here's a different type of topic. We talk about a lot of things that we buy, and usually when we buy it, we talk very positively about it because we bought it, right? It's not like something releasing. Hey, that's not for me.
You got something you want to talk shit about?
Yeah. So it's more of a disappointment than talking crap because I bought it. I thought I was gonna like it.
Sure.
So from CCP, they released all those Space Godzillas.
Yeah.
And there was the one that was transparent that was like a blue, teal, and a pink, like magenta color scheme. I loved it. It looked great. And I got it, and it's for a Sofubi piece. It's very, very, very affordable. $45, something like that.
The prices on CCP stuff, whenever I found a lot of it, I don't remember where I was searching, but I found a good chunk of it, and I was like, this stuff is so, I don't want to use the word cheap, but it's so cheap that I was like, these must be 2 inches tall or something. There's something I'm not reading that.
No, they're good size.
So yeah.
They're all the medium, in Sofubi we call medium size. It's like the 5 to 6 inch scale. So here's the guy. Like I said, the colorway is fine. The mold is fine. So here he is. Now here's the reason I have some issues. The sculpt is I just don't like the sculpt. It doesn't come off as very Space Godzilla-y to me. But what's the one thing that you hate in toys with Godzilla? What's the one thing that we typically see on their back with the dorsal spines? Yeah, the spine.
Oh, does it?
Look at this. Gap. Look at that. Ooh, I mean, that is the Grand Canyon of spine gaps.
Ugly.
Yeah, it's like so. But there's lots of. I mean, like you said, the colorway, everything is cool. But like, there's something about the head. I don't love it. Yeah. And I think it gets it gets too thin here.
That's why I didn't buy any. I didn't buy any. Like there were a couple different ones, and I was like, God, these are so cheap. The color looks great. Yeah. But there is something about the sculpts that I was just like, nah, I don't even for $45. I think I'm good.
You know why I bought it? Other than the colorway, and I like Space Godzilla, right?
Because there's not a lot of Space Godzilla.
Not a ton. I've had in my possession and sold a lot of the CCP of this size of Gigan, and I like the Gigan. It's good. There's no there's no major issue. So I gave this the benefit of the doubt, and I don't know. It's just like the neck protrudes too. I don't know. It's just
weird. Yeah.
I look at it, I'm like, it's not Space Godzilla. Okay, so the last two things. This one is, we talked about Toy Tokyo and we talked about Toy Tokyo. What I bought there, what I was so excited about, it was this from Awesome Toy, this fake Spectre Man number 9. And for those that aren't familiar with this line from Awesome Toy is great. They do wonderful stuff. But Spectre Man was made in many different ways in many different countries, a lot of bootlegs. And so they've taken inspiration from some of the bootleg Spectre Man toys and comics and things like that and made them into this fake Spectre Man line. This is the 9th one. And this is from the cover of a Brazilian Spectre Man comic. This is what they made Spectre Man look like. And so they made a toy out of it. This is my first one. I am afraid now I'm going to have to collect all of them because they're awesome. They're awesome. But yeah, fake Spectre Man number 9. I mean, look at the belly. It's just a giant pilgrim belt buckle on. I don't know what's going on here. Love him though. Love him for my Brazilian
very weird toy. Very cool.
Oh yeah. I was so excited to see that in person. And I know that it was available on a lot of the normal sites and stuff, but I missed it. So I was like, hey, I'm grabbing it.
Yeah. It's that's the best feeling when you miss something, you know you want it and it shows up somewhere unexpectedly.
100%. Okay. So, Jake, I'm not going to waste any time. Here it is.
Okay.
You know what this is?
I do know what that is. Yeah.
This is my 89th Godzilla 1989. The mission has been completed.
Holy crap.
Number 89. And it is a great one, too. It's
like bubblegum.
I know, it's like clear pink with a kind of bluey purple. I was like, this is like my colorway, too. I love it. Yeah, he's number 89. I had one spot. I was just sitting there for spot number 89. I was waiting for this guy to come in. I think I still have 2 or 3 that are bought. So some are going, some aren't saying.
Some will go,
He will stay. He will stay. But he is the 89th one that I have. So those that laughed at me and made fun of me along the way and said, there's no way this kid can do it. There's no way he would have any chance of doing that. It'll take a moron to do that. Well, sirs and madams, I'm a huge moron because I did it. I got
He did it. He did it.
I did it. Yeah.
We gotta get a good picture or video of the 89s. I don't know how you got them set up, if even all 89 are in one spot or what, but
they are kinda. They are kinda.
That's ridiculous. 89s is so ridiculous. And then you're gonna start over and do 93s.
That would be great. No, I'm not. I love my. And here's the thing. I'm 89 into this, and I still think it's my favorite Marusan sculpt.
It's great.
I still think it's my favorite. I think the best suit. Favorite's hard. But it's in that conversation.
It is the best suit.
It is the best suit.
100%.
Obviously, from a great movie. It was one of the the first like Sofubi items that I collected multiple of the same sculpt of.
Yeah.
And because I never really did that. And I just started doing it. And and I never really, there was maybe one moment where I was like, oh, they're releasing them too fast. Like this, it only one time got to the point where I was like, do I really, really want to do this? Am I enjoying it as much as I was when I was at number 25? And then I was like, I am. And so since then it's been super fun. I've been very eager for all of them to show up. This one was just as exciting to get as my first one. And I think that says to just the quality of what Marusan does. And I'm excited to do some fun. I don't know. I mean, I got to name them all and give them all backstories. I got to do some sort of fun video with it. So, yeah, something to look forward to.
You have to. I mean, it's such a flex. It's that's such a flex of a collection, and I'm sure it looks amazing in person.
Lots of good colors
to see it.
Yeah, you'll get to see it here soon, not too long. Sure. But yeah, and like I said, I think it was cool that the 89th one wasn't like a blank, brown one, because I have a blank brown one. But this is this is a cool one, and I really like that. And I actually think the last 5 or 6 releases that they've done have been some of my favorite ones. So. Yeah.
Well, it's gonna be hard from here on out when they release some that are really great, and you're gonna want to buy a new one, and then you'll have to pick which one you're gonna sell off.
I've already been thinking about which my least favorite kids are. I think I could go like 4 or 5 deep before I start.
You got a couple in there?
I got a couple in there.
Okay.
And I got Doug now, so it's all good. I got Doug.
That's all you need. Hey, I don't know if I'm cutting out or anything. My connection is kind of crappy, and it has you kind of going in and out. But as long as everything is looking and sounding good,
you haven't even twitched once. You're good on my end, but that doesn't mean anything.
We'll keep on going then.
Keep on going,
Jay. Those are good pickups, man.
Thank you, sir.
It's good stuff. I got a couple things. I got 3 things, and you know what? All 3 of mine were gifts.
Yeah, and I know one of them is a big one.
One of them is a big one, but 2 of them were gifts from you, which makes them also big. I appreciate it, Jay.
I wasn't talking about mine. The other
2
one.
really great. What?
No, I wasn't talking about mine.
You're
being
cutting out. What'd you say?
I wasn't talking about mine being the big gift. The other one.
But I was. They're all big ones. These are all great toys. Jay, it's weird showing you the toys you bought me, but the first thing you got me was my first trike, dude. This is my first one. I love this. I love the colors on the Hedora here. This is beautiful, and I know you did this knowing what this is going to do. It's just going to make me want to buy a bunch more of these. I love everything about it. I've been winding it up and just watching it on the floor go back and forth. This is perfect.
Pretty soon when you get your second one, then you can start having tricycle races. Yeah. And then you start getting you have to buy them in groups where you can have big tournaments. It's amazing.
Dude, I'm already looking. I was like, do I want a Matango next? I feel like I might want a Matango next.
Yeah, Matango, that'd be a good one.
But then to go with that, you also got me this really amazing Shin Gomez here. Look at this guy. I mean, you've seen this, but the red, this color, this is just such a striking toy. Yeah. This no matter where on your shelf you put this is sucking up all of the attention.
Don't you love when toys do that? He
looks like the devil. It's what started off as such a silly kaiju, in the original Ultraman, and now it's just this is the scariest thing I've ever seen. I love this. Thank you, Jay.
Yeah, I think that was a Wonder Toy Con for
those are both
exclusive. Yeah.
Yeah. Those are both going. I got a new DTOF going of kaiju stuff that's all super colorful, and both of these are going on that shelf. I got one other pickup. And this came from Matt Bush, who's been very kind to Toy Anxiety and YHS. He hears us talking about stuff and he sends it.
Yeah.
And he's also responsible for he sent me a Dodongo off of my top 10 list. Jay, I don't know. I'd have to pull our episode up and see where we are I feel like we're destroying those top 10 lists.
Well, you are.
This year.
You are. I think I have like 2 off mine or 3, and you have like 7.
I think I do have 7. But Matt Bush has sent me my first of a new collection, which was my number 1 in my top 10. And that is this very minty bullmark die-cast Godzilla here. I got the box. We got the instruction booklet inside.
That's ridiculous.
And then I got the figure right here.
Look at that guy.
Holy crap, dude. It's complete. I got all his rockets in here. What? How did this happen? Like,
that box is that's one of the best conditioned boxes I've ever seen of those. That's a great find by Matt.
It is. Yeah. It's great. Just the fact that it's got, it looks like it was only opened once. There's no damage on this. And the
Very
instruction manual is in here. I've been like obsessing and dreaming about this toy line, and he got me going. So now I got to keep it. I got to keep it going, but I'm gonna have to pull my list up and see, because I mean,
you got
I don't even know.
You got the Dongo,
Reptilicus.
I guess Reptilicus.
Yeah, that's 4 or 5. Yeah, I got some Takeshi, the Kappa, the Keshi.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
killing that. Fuck that list, dude. It's dead.
You might have to do a mid-year new top 10.
That might be fun.
I'll be like,
that might be
damn
fun.
you, Jake.
An update. Hey, you know what happened, right? It's because at the end of this past year, I tried to get every Sofubi / kaiju figure that I bought over the year, and I was going to put them together because I did it for the year before. And I didn't have as many toys this past year as I did the year before. I didn't buy as much. And I was like, no, dude, I can't post this picture, and I can't let another year go not getting as much as 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So I just been going on. Just been fuck it.
I love it, man. No, it's those it's funny, like your list, like I do think you'll finish it off, because I'm trying to think of the other ones on your list, like that are just like
a lot of.
Sometimes it's hard to find. It's not even the money as much as it's like they're just like things don't pop up as as much.
A lot of the stuff on my list was affordable. I tried to make it a little easier, and there's a good bit of affordable stuff on my list. I think the thing that's going to be the hardest is just coming up with the money to buy that goddamn Mecha Godzilla toy graph. That's the hardest. Stuff, that's going to be the hardest thing, but yeah, that's the pickups. Good stuff. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I think that the way you got the Matt's gift to you it's dangerous, because that is so cool. And now you're going to want to find the other ones in that same level of how
I can't
preserved it is.
Well, now I can't get one without the box. It's like I gotta keep getting the boxes.
Oh man, yeah, but also that's great for Matt to get that. That's what a great gift. That's really cool, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Well, Jay, we'll talk about some. We'll got some news. We'll talk
more
about,
toys. Yeah, let's talk about
some
cool. There's some cool stuff, man. I tried to narrow it down to like the really I think kind of the coolest stuff, and that we might have an opinion on. And the first one I know you have an opinion on, and that is our good buddies over at Mondo, Peter and Hector and the team. So first, I got to ask you. I never even asked you this. Yeah. Did you pre-order the All Monsters Attack Trio when it came out last week or 2 weeks?
100%.
Okay, I couldn't remember. I assumed you did, but I didn't ask.
I mean, you know what? Here's the thing. Like, if these were separate, if it was not a 3 set, would I have bought all 3 of them? I'm not sure. I think this Godzilla looks great, but I'm like, I got a lot of Godzilla. You know how much Gabra I got? 0.
Same.
And I love Minya Sofubi. I love it. So like, when I first saw these, I was like, oh, well, I don't care what it came with. I'm getting this for Minya. But the more I look at these, they're all 3 really great sculpts. Dude, Peter designed these, which is awesome, because Peter does it, he usually designs more in his own style. These I think look awesome, and this was a no brainer.
Same.
As soon as they went up, I was like, yeah, I'm buying this. Of course I am.
Good. Okay, I just want to make sure because I think that these will definitely be in discussion.
And dude, did you see the Tom Whalen box art?
I did. Oh yeah, I know. We don't have to talk about it because it's so freaking awesome, but it's ridiculous. I mean, they know what most of us want. And they also have like the really good people because like obviously Hector and Peter and Tom are all really good at what they do. Mm-hmm. So, it makes it easy. Okay. So this is what I'm actually more curious to talk to you about because this news dropped. I don't even know when it dropped. But tomorrow, maybe today, depending on when this drops, on March 28th, they're going to release a very small quantity, 400 of the Godzilla X Kong, their first in their MonsterVerse, their legendary line of their soft vinyl releases of Godzilla and Kong, $190 a pop. I believe it's going to be a kind of first come first serve. Probably sell out pretty quickly. What are your thoughts on these two? And these, I believe, were both sculpted and painted by Hector.
These are from Hector. They look great. Is this 190 a piece or is this a set?
I thought it was a piece, but it makes more sense that it was a set. While you give me your thoughts, I'm going to verify that because now you got.
Because I looked and I didn't go to Mondo's website, but on their Instagram, I couldn't even find a price until right now. So I don't even know if you got the price.
I got it from an article.
That
on for one of the toy ones, but I will.
Well, these are.
Tuber customer, ships worldwide, $190. No, they are 190 each.
Yeah, that makes more sense to me because two Sofubi like this for 190 seems like stealing.
They're both 10 inches tall, and Godzilla's 10.5 inches tall.
Yeah, I mean these are great. And then I don't know if you got any other pictures, but Kong also has his arm thing, which looks really cool in the Sofubi form with the colors. Looks really in the yellow,
and he has the axe. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, dude, these are really great. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna be picking these up or not. I just don't know. Like they aren't like instant yeses to me. But I do love them. Being only 400, I think they're gonna sell out super quick. This might be one of those like hard to even try to pick up anyway. So
I
don't know, dude.
I'm similar to you. I think they're really well done especially for other than the spiral toy that we have of Godzilla, there hasn't been much from the MonsterVerse world that really gets me that interested in buying something. And this one made me do a double take. It really did. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to pick them up yet. I do hope these, I'm okay with passing on these. I'm hoping
there's going to be other colors.
Exactly.
100% there's going to be other colors. So it might be, it's probably, honestly, with Mondo, it's smarter to not get the first round or you're just going to end up buying multiples.
I've done it every time. Every time. And especially that I've really done good and stuck to my one colorway per item. I think there might, I'll take the gamble. I might be looking back in 2 years and they're like, no, we're not doing those anymore. This is a one time only. And I'll be like, okay, but I have a feeling these will sell out in about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And we're going to get like 12 more colorways.
Sure.
I hope. Good for everybody.
The only one I was able to just buy one on was Rodan, and I think I bought the wrong Rodan. I didn't buy. It's not my favorite colorway, but it was one that I kind of impulse bought during Comic-Con, and I love it. It's great, but it's not as good as maybe
the Fire Dragon. I think the Fire Dragon one's my favorite.
I think the Fire Dragon and that like Midnight one. The Midnight one is killer. And I had passed. I got the Cherry Blossom, which is fine because I have Cherry Blossom for everybody else. But Rodan's the only one. I mean, I got two Attack Peter Mechagodzillas coming because I couldn't make up my mind, and I was scared of the one of them selling out, and I bought them both.
Oh yeah. I did the same on that one. I will say I still haven't bought a Hedera yet, and I know which one I want. I just have to pull the trigger on it. I want to get the Tokyo colorway, like the old Bullmark, the yellows and oranges and greens and stuff. I'm gonna get that one.
Well,
that's the one. That's the one I'm missing.
I didn't buy a Hedorah or a Godzilla, and I feel bad, but I just didn't like love the Godzilla sculpt. But the more I see it, the more I wish I would have maybe picked one up. You know, and now when I see it, I'm like, oh man, that is a good sculpt. So, but I got fucking 3 Biolantes and 2 Space Godzillas, and
the biggest ones that take up the most space.
Exactly. I couldn't, whatever.
So Mondo, I mean, they are not slowing down on this and other franchises as well, but just within our narrow lens of kaiju, like pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about this one. Okay. I sent you this and I was just like, well, like figure of the year. No, I mean, Mondo, don't even release anything else. Marusan, go home. US Toy, Max Toy, sorry, better luck next year, because 2025 is going to be the year of GAPPA. I absolutely love this. I mean, I like Anraku and which is crazy for me to say, 2 years after. I was like,
you used to not love it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think as they've gotten out of almost Godzilla and more into some of the other kaiju, whether it's
some
like
of the weirdos,
this one is this looks great. And the fact that they're doing the male, female, and the child is awesome. And yeah,
dude, lottery is killing me, man. Like dude, lotteries are so hard. It is like so. I just wish it was. I wish some of the stuff was a little easier to get.
I've won one lottery ever.
This is one of the ones you're gonna. I know you're gonna be buying this on the secondary market, and it's one that you're gonna have to help me find on the secondary market because I'm gonna want one of these.
Here's what I'm hoping. I'm gonna tell you. I have a little bit of hope. So when you go to everybody, the quick thing is go do the lottery because it ends on April 10th. It's live right now. Went live on the 24th.
9 inches.
Okay. So you have to select which ones you want, and you can select 1, 2, or 3. Yeah. So I figured maybe some people was like, I just want one because they're not terribly priced, but they're not like free.
Right.
And it's $390 US to get all 3, right?
Yeah.
And I did select all 3. I'm hoping that they'll prioritize those people just to get them out.
Right.
And they don't have any odd, like random one-offs. I'm hoping. And so I'm hoping that it's a smaller lottery and it's GAPPA versus, Godzilla.
Yeah.
But I really want to win it. And I really, 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 really hope I win it. I'm so excited for this one. I think the sculpt these guys look so good.
Well,
and I don't know. I'm super excited.
Part of what makes these look so good to me, other than the sculpt being literally the best GAPPA anything ever. There's nothing else that exists with GAPPA in it or on it that's as good as these. This color is sort of unique, I think, because it's green on, you just look at it and you're like, oh, cool, it's green. A lot of things are green. But this is a pastel-y, like, this is a shamrock green that's kind of like watercolory. It's very calming and smooth looking. And if I'm looking at all of my toys over here,
it's not
this color isn't on anything. It's not. No. It's not. This color green doesn't exist on anything else I own.
No. I know, which is amazing. And by the way, Gilala green is going to be an official crayon one day.
Yeah.
But it really is.
Hey, the Kaiju crayon box set.
I love it.
Gilala
yes.
green.
Well, I have GAPPA green, Gilala green, and Reptilicus green. Which one is it? No, I do. I agree. I think when we get, because there's so many colors represented in these types of toys, when we can see one like, oh yeah, there's not only like, I don't have one. I can't think of another toy that maybe I don't even have that really uses this type of green. I mean, I'm sure there's a Hedorah because there's a Hedorah.
I'm sure there's some out there, but it's like, I'm looking around.
I have a Marmot Titanosaurus that their chest and like their underbelly and stuff is this type of green, but it's a very small amount. So
to me,
I have 89 Godzillas and none of them look like that.
The only thing that comes to mind that's in my toy room that is close to these colors is some of my Kenner Swamp Thing figures have this kind of green on it. But
I don't know. But this is going to be awesome. I really hope I win it. And yes, I will. I'll brave the secondary market on this one because I think it would just be so cool. And who knows when we're going to get another, a good Trophibian monster. You just never know. Okay. Maybe never. Okay. So speaking of other really cool things, Seismic Toys, who gave us They had the Vinyl Odyssey line. They gave us a really cool Gyros and a really cool Sevenger.
Mm-hmm.
They announced this one, and I don't think it's technically part of their Vinyl Odyssey line because it looks way more kind of like realistic stuff. But this is looks really good. It looks super awesome. It's sculpted by Dope Pope, who did the Gorgo for Titanic Creation.
Yeah.
And a lot of other things. This one is up for pre-order right now. The pre-order ends for the Seismic Toys Shin Gomez on April 25th. It's 9.5 inches tall. It's $160. This looks stunning.
Mm-hmm.
I think for those that really like kind of the realistic sculpts and the realistic look, but don't want necessarily an X Plus Hot Toy style, this fits that niche perfectly. I think this is awesome and just another really well done sculpt.
Yeah, this is really cool.
Yeah,
and that price is great.
Yeah, 100%. I think
for
it has 5 points of articulation, so kind of classic kind of Sofubi style. Like, I'm sure it's the legs, arms, and neck. Maybe the tail instead of the neck. I don't know. It's but it looks really cool. And they do great stuff. Seismic Toys. I get to.
Sorry, I was going to ask if you bought that Gorgo.
Just
so
the
like
one that
the realistic looking one.
No, I just bought the one that we the 6-inch one.
Okay. I haven't bought it either, but I keep going back and I like went back and forth, and I don't even know if it's still available, but I went back and forth. But hey, you know what? You know where they got my money, where they're gonna get my money, though, right?
Yangery.
No.
I was
maybe, but I was gonna say they're putting out a Pulgasar.
They are, yes.
So, they might get my Yangery money, but we'll see.
They found a niche, man. These other Titanic creations, that is, these other kaiju. But Seismic Toys, I got to meet these guys at G Fest last year. They'll be there again this year. They're really good people, and I hope that they continue to release really cool stuff, man.
Yeah, me too.
I've seen both the Sevenger and the Gyros in person. Mm-hmm. I've come very close to pulling the trigger on both of them. Right. They look really good. The Sevenger, they've started to release some more kind of fun color variants that kind of play on other franchises and stuff. Really cool stuff. If you guys have a chance, go to Seismic Toys website. I think they still have some up there. The Gyros, kind of the transparent looking ones, are really cool. Mm-hmm. So these are ones I know if you buy them, you won't be upset. They're really cool stuff. But this was a neat one.
Yeah, good stuff.
And I like to see stuff from like some of their US based companies, but also like true like indie spirit, one at a time. Like they're fighting the good fight and giving the collectors really cool and unique stuff. So I really like, whether it's Seismic or Titanic Creations or Max Toy or whoever, they're just doing really good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk some Marusan exclusives, and we can rapid fire these, but these were some interesting ones that came out. So the first one, it's to my knowledge the first time that they've done an exclusive for the 70s toy shop. It's an online retailer, but they have a physical location in Japan. And they're doing one of their Baragon 450s. This is a glow in the dark, kind of that classic good kind of color. Pinky. Yeah, like
it's like a Starburst.
Yeah, 100%. And hopefully I don't eat it though. But this is a 450 classic style, and only 30 are produced. So I think the pre-order goes up on the 31st. To be honest with everybody, I don't know if they ship to the US, maybe, but if not, I mean, you will probably see a couple of these trickle out on the secondhand market. But unlike a lot of the other Marusan Baragon 450s, there's only 30 of these. So I don't know how prevalent they're going to be. Yeah. So if they can ship, or if you can use a proxy and you can get it for, $100 and something bucks compared to $350 or whatever it's going to be in the secondhand market, I would do it. But really cool. And I haven't seen this colorway from them. So I thought that was probably the coolest part of it.
Yeah, I love that color sculpt. He's such a happy boy.
He's so happy. It's like he's always taking like a class picture. The Mechagodzilla 350 here and the Godzilla 89 350, which I have. These were ones they released at Cicalina Fest, excuse me. Mm-hmm. So these have already been out. They have already released. It happened in between our last couple episodes. So these are out the secondary market. The Godzilla 89 is pretty prevalent, but it's pretty easy to snag. I haven't seen as much of the kind of the dark brown and coppery Mecha Godzilla, but Marusan's really been loving that kind of combination. It looks really good in person. So I thought these were pretty cool pieces as well from Sikaluna Fest in Japan. The next two, well, you know me, I love, for some reason, the Ultraman Japan Airlines partnership just fascinates me. And I have the X Plus. Weird. I have the X Plus. So now they're releasing a Marusan JAL 450 with the JAL white and red. I already got it. It's coming. It's coming.
I love these. I love how simple and clean they look.
And they're big. They're 13 inches tall. You know, they're big. So this one you guys can get at the JAL online shopping mall. So this is exclusive to the Japan Airlines, basically their Sky Mall. So pretty cool stuff. And then, I put this one in there because I love what Graveyard Gallery does with who they partner with everybody, right? Mm-hmm. Planet X Asia, Marusan, Max Toy, you name it. They do cool exclusives. This is the Ultraman Jack. So it's Return of Ultraman, and it's a glow in the dark, and it looks like the 450, but I think it's actually like a 350 size. It's about like 7 inches or so. So it's a little bit smaller and a really good price, but that's going to be going live on the 31st on Graveyard Gallery, and they do ship to the US. So you can get that one there, but you don't see as much Return of Ultraman Jack stuff now. A lot of the toys were released in the 70s, but this is because 72 it came out, so Bull Mark's rocking and rolling and Popey's getting there. It's there's a lot of good vintage stuff. But I think this is a really cool glow in the dark one, and from the images, it looks like it has a really strong glow. So some really cool stuff from Marusan. I think these were all really neat releases.
Yeah, all around, dude. Good stuff, like always.
Okay, so I put this one on there not necessarily because of the toy, but to me, I always find it intriguing when we get to see kind of the first look of a new show, especially like an anime or an animated series. And to see it kind of in toy form, what they do. And so this is one of the first Ultraman Rising toys. And this is a model kit. And it comes with a little baby kaiju that he takes care of from the new Ultraman Rising that comes out in June. So this is like $11. It's a small little snap together model kit from Bandai, 6 inches tall. It's going to ship in July. But I want to get your thoughts on this. Is the anime Ultraman Rising kind of look and vibe for Ultraman.
I keep forgetting we're getting a Ultraman
another
anime coming out. You know what? It's anime. It's animated. Like whatever it looks like, I'm fine with. Do I wish it looked more like Singular Point? Yes. Yeah. Does this look like it's just trying to look like Pixar animation? Sure.
Yeah, Gru legs.
But whatever. Who cares? It's fucking Ultraman. Like on Netflix. I don't care what it looks like.
And it's
like it looks. It's not like they haven't changed his design or anything. It's clearly Ultraman. So.
Yeah, and I do think as more of these come out, I definitely felt it was like more kids focused, and seeing these guys, it definitely looks that way. But I thought it was interesting. It was kind of I always am fascinated when you see the toy forms of new characters come out, not new characters, but new versions of characters come out. So so that was cool. And then the other thing, and this ties into a topic we'll talk about today with Godzilla X Kong around the corner. But I love Planet X Asia. They do awesome stuff. And their original kaiju are all really cool looking. Mm-hmm. But with Scar King coming out and how they kind of have created this giant evil orangutan, I saw this Mega Gutan and I was like, I sent you a text. I was like, this is what Scar King should be, because this guy looks like he
actually looks scary.
Yeah. I know. I mean, oh my god, and their stuff is so good. Like, I have a couple pieces from Planet X Asia, the King Joe, and it is like really good quality. And this looks freaking great. But this guy looks like scary as hell.
I love all the texture in his like chest and his face. Like, there's 3 or 4 different textures going on. It looks really good.
Yeah. And then I wanted to talk a little bit, as we can transition from toys, if that's okay. And we don't have to dive deep into this. This is more just for most people know this. These have been out for a week or so. But last year we talked about all the cool guests coming to G-Fest. And last year it was Yumiko Shaku from Godzilla, X Mecha Godzilla. And I guess she had a cameo in Tokyo SOS as well. And Don Fry and Linda Miller. So we have Ria Ota, who was the first woman in a Godzilla film to play a kaiju versus female suit actor. And so she'll be Baragon from GMK is most famous for, and she'll be there. Takuji Yamada, so maybe the greatest diorama model builder ever. I mean, I truly like he'll be there, and probably just like I'm curious what he brings if he does. I mean, he has his own museum in Japan. I mean, the guy's really legitimately done everything. And I think so far the main event, the one most people are getting really excited about, though she did make an appearance last year. I want to say it. I know at All Monsters Attack and maybe even Japan World Heroes. I can't remember. Is Ayako Fujitani, the daughter of the great Steven Seagal, and of course we know her from the Heisei Gamera trilogy as well as Ultraman Max. She was on an episode of that as well. But this is the announcement so far. I don't know if they'll have a fourth one, but this is the announcements for G-Fest this year.
These are all great guests. I'm gonna have to send you some money so you can pick me up some autographed photos here. These are all great. Yeah,
they do a really good job, and I'm a big fan of, because the convention's 3 days and it's not Comic-Con, but there's still 7,000 people there. Having 3 or 4, you have time to like spend with them. Like, I mean, like it's not
it makes it a little easier.
I mean, I went in there the first time I went to G-Fest, and I got to there and talked to Tomoko Ai and her daughter and their handler for like literally like 10 minutes. I was the only one in the room. Like the only other one. Like
that's so crazy.
It's so cool. And last year I didn't get, because I was working the booth, I didn't get to interact as much. I sat next to or sat by Don Fry at the bar for a few minutes, but other than that, like it was a little bit different. So this will be cool. I'm really excited for these folks to be there. And I like how they just did a little bit different. Like they haven't had a suit actor of the last couple of years. They haven't had a Gamera focused person for the last couple of years. And the first rule,
change it up.
Change it up. I think that's really cool. Keep everything fresh and really cool stuff. So I just wanted to throw that one out there.
Yeah, good stuff.
And that's it. The only other news items I had were, I don't know if you saw this, but they announced, I'm going to pull it up here. I have a little screenshot here. Let me see there it is. Chibi Godzilla raids again.
Coming back.
The English subtitle premiere is going to be April 10th on the Toho YouTube channel. So last season, the first season is what, like 20, 30 second videos. I mean, it's basically a 10 or 12 minute watch the whole way through. So I'm assuming this one will be similar, but everybody loves Chibi Godzilla.
Yeah. I want more, is everything, more Godzilla, everything, like animated series, whatever. I love it. So keep it going.
And as much as we get serious about our Godzilla toys and actually not us, we're probably the least serious of any kaiju creators, but how sometimes we can get pretty jazzed up, just a moment of levity. And this was the one kind of wacky piece of Godzilla news that I think is just brilliant. Is Godzilla was the chief of police for a day and led a parade promoting traffic safety in Japan, specifically with cyclists and people on bicycles in the cities, in a lot of traffic accidents there. So who better than Godzilla to basically take over and be chief for a day?
Honestly, that's pretty irresponsible of Japan to let that happen. That's what he wants, guys.
He wants chaos.
That's what he wants. You've given him too much power.
I know. They should have given it to Minya. They should have given it to, somebody. I mean, Gamera would have made way more sense.
No, if anybody deserves it, it's Jet Jaguar. He's the policeman.
True. That is true. Touche, man. Touche. That was the right call. They messed that one up.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty good, man. Yeah. Hey, a lot of good news. There's so many toys. Like, I mean, that's the dirt. You were just saying, like, what's the difference between the toy things, between us and like
good toys.
There's so much. We have so many toys to talk about every week, and we're not even digging into everything that's come out. Yeah. And it's not like
choices.
That with it is just not like that with American toys, and so I don't know. But
I think one thing that like we hopefully none of us ever take for granted in this crazy kaiju collecting world is choices. We have choices. Yeah. Like, it's like if you want a Star Wars articulated figure, there's like one official place,
Yeah.
like it's not like here where it's like literally like you have like 20 different things you can, if you really want a cool Godzilla. And so that's, it's great.
Yeah, it is great. We're lucky. So before we get out of here though, we have to talk about what's happening tomorrow.
Doug is happening.
We get to see Doug again.
I know. I hope
Is Doug in this movie?
We don't know. He just gets a toy.
They just needed to package.
He's probably like a deleted scene, and they just go, yes. I hope so, man. One thing I noticed, and maybe I guess I should level set, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts. I've watched the trailers, but I have not. I've stayed pretty clean on any type of, like, I haven't watched any videos or read any articles deep on like everything going on. But I just noticed, like, my little Suko toy here. I think in the trailer he doesn't have like a huge scar on his eye, does he? He has a big scar on his eye.
I don't know. I can't.
So maybe he gets punched in the face. Maybe Doug does it.
Listen, I'm excited to be able to. I will always be excited to be able to go to the movie theater and see a new Godzilla movie. But man, just having the villains being like an evil version of Kong and Godzilla to me is so lazy. Like, to me, anytime we get new villains and they're not Toho villains, I'm just like, I don't care.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I agree with you. My hope, and I go in this in any movie, is in a perfect world, we would get new villains that were really
feel
awesome.
like
that were really awesome. You know,
but
like,
it's just weird. It's like, I don't know, dude. There's nothing visually interesting about like there's another ape.
Yeah. No,
it's another Godzilla, but it's different. It's like, oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, and I was hopeful because
what we got in the last movie was another Godzilla. You know.
Yeah, and I was hopeful from, like we got the Mutos, and then a lot of the other, like, whether it was Behemoth or some of these other monsters were interesting, that we saw in the comics and in the, some of the art books and everything. And I was hoping that they would go more something big and different that doesn't come across as lazy. So I agree with you there. It would have been great if these kaiju looked nothing like anything we've ever seen before.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, like, even Monarch, we had just kind of flying dragon monster, which was kind of like not lazy, but like wasn't necessarily interesting. But then you had like the snow warthog monster Frostbite, who I thought was that's a step in the right direction, cool. Right? Yeah. I was hoping they would go down that avenue instead of like, okay, here's a a giant orangutan. No, I'm hoping that this finishes that story, that lore, that Battle of the Titans, and we can move on to future. Because I feel like to finish that story out, I guess you kind of have to have another 8 because that's what it is. And, but I'm hoping this is the last of that, and we can get to some original stuff, or just Suko riding Doug. That would be pretty cool. So yeah, that's my take. But what's interesting about this film is I've never been, I'm trying to say, I don't know how to phrase this. I've never been so like carefree and not worried about going into a Godzilla movie. I think it's a combination of that we have had so much content lately.
Yeah, I was about to say it's because of minus. It's because of minus one. 100%.
And I mean, I think it even goes back further. I think like we have the MonsterVerse, but then now we know Toho can still make a good film. Now we also know we have Singular Point, and we've had these other Godzilla things that have come out. Whereas like, when 2014 came out, I was like, if this doesn't do it, we'll never get another Godzilla again. Right. Like I don't feel like we have that like, if this movie is terrible or even as a financial disaster, and I don't think it will be.
It's not going to be. It's gonna do well, I think. Which is so weird because I want it to do well, and I do want more Godzilla, but also I need Ghostbusters to do well. Second week, I need Ghostbusters to not drop 50% in week 2.
How about this? How about in the U.S. we still spend towards Ghostbusters, and Godzilla can win the international markets and be fine. But I don't care. Like, and that's not a knock on it. Like, I'm excited for the film. But it can be like B movie schlock, and I will enjoy it, and it can be really good. And I won't, but it can be really good, and I'll enjoy it. Like, I don't care because it doesn't matter. Like, we're gonna get more Godzilla content. The franchise doesn't hinge on one thing. anymore. It's diverse
It's
and
whatever,
it has avenues where it works. And you know, like I said, because of Godzilla -1, because of Singular Point, because of all this other stuff, and the MonsterVerse is going to be fine too.
Mhm.
Like I said, I'm going to go into it and like, if it's just as batshit crazy as it could be, great. If it is like surprisingly has some like good moments, even better. But I don't care. I really like. I'm not worried.
There's a scene where King Kong rides on Godzilla's back, so I'm good.
It's good. Are you sure it just wasn't these guys? Like maybe this is a young Godzilla, and we'll get.
I was kind of suspecting. I wonder if they're going to try to make Doug like a juvenile,
Godzilla
species or something. I don't know. Yeah, I'm excited about it. It's going to be fun. Going to go to the theater. I'm going to go to work tomorrow morning. Get off work. Probably going to see the earliest showing around 3:30, 4, something like that. Knock it out, and then go see Ghostbusters again.
I'm excited. 7 more times. I'm going to be excited to chat with you after, because the one thing I want to know from this film is when it's over, like where does the MonsterVerse go from
It's dead.
I know, right? Like what's the next story? I don't know.
All of these movies have had, either final scenes that have tried to push forward, tease what's going to be next. So I'm wondering if this is going to have that too. If there's going to be any surprises.
Yeah.
What other kaiju might show up? I'm like 98% sure Mothra is in this movie.
Yes.
They've been trying to hide Mothra, but I keep seeing her pop up. And like I think there was an official Chinese poster that came out or something that had Mothra on it. And I'm like, okay, so Mothra is in it, but we'll see.
Yeah. I just am like Monarch, they could always go back and explore that because that's back. I don't know. I'm really excited to see where this ends and like how do you continue to tell the story of Godzilla and Kong, or do you after this film? And like I said, I hope that they can go in a really original direction.
I kind of hope it goes back to them having their own films. I don't need every movie to be Godzilla and Kong. They can break off and let Godzilla do stuff and let Kong do stuff.
Oh no, they're adding. It's going to be Godzilla X Kong X Mothra, and then Godzilla X Kong X Mothra X Rodan X Suko X Doug X Spectre Man. I mean, I'm just crossing companies now.
Yeah, fuck it.
I know, right? Yeah, they can do lots. I mean, here's the thing. Now they've set the precedence that they can do crazy shit. So, like, not really, all bets are off. If Godzilla, like, literally, if Kong can wear an Infinity Gauntlet and ride Godzilla, then anything can happen.
Sure,
like, legitimately.
Yeah.
And Gamera will get eventually bought up, and then we'll have some big business.
I just know I'm gonna be missing. Yeah, I know I'm gonna be missing recognizable kaiju, I think, and I'm gonna be missing recognizable music, I think. It's really hard. Like in King of the Monsters, when they redid all that classic music, it was so good. And then watching -1 when that music hits, it's just like the best feeling in the world. So not having that is kind of like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know it's going to be a fun movie. I'm excited to go see it. And I mean, that's it. We'll reconvene here in 2 weeks and we'll talk about it.
Whew. And make sure you go see The Right Empire tomorrow, not Frozen. New.
We might love it and see the movie 5 times by the time we record.
Yeah. Hey, I would love that. I would love for this to be, like I said, it's not going to be good in the way that -1 is good or Shin Godzilla is good, but that doesn't mean it can't be good. It's just a different good. And, or it could be just total BS. But like I said, and that's okay. And I feel comfortable. The Godzilla franchise will continue and do great stuff. And if it does suck, and we've been hidden this. I'm like, MonsterVerse is not our favorite series of Godzilla.
Yeah.
And yeah, in a perfect world, do I wish those resources could use to make stuff a little bit more akin to Godzilla -1 and Shin Godzilla, of course, or even Singular Point, of course. But that's not the reality. And so let's just hope it does well, and they can eventually tear off.
Those other movies will happen. Those other movies will still happen. It's 100%. Like movies have to switch tone You know what I mean? It's like we might get a couple silly ones, but at some point they're going to be like, hey, let's go back to 2014 and do something a little more. Whatever.
MonsterVerse, when you go to G-Fest and you see how many kids there that are discovering Godzilla, their first thing is through the MonsterVerse. Look, if they love Godzilla, they're going to explore the other stuff eventually. We all had to have an entry point, right?
Yeah.
And not all of our entry points are the best movies, but it got us to those best movies. So it is our best vessel to get Godzilla in front of as many eyeballs. And as long as there are people watching Godzilla and loving Godzilla and learning about it, we're going to get more movies of every type of ilk, and it's going to be amazing. So the MonsterVerse is really kind of that upper funnel to get them in there, and it is doing its job. And I want it to continue to do its job. We don't have to like them the best. It's okay. But they have a function for the greater good of the franchise and the fandom, and they really do. And it just might not be something that directly impacts us because, hey, we're in this thing for the long. They'll be burying us with Godzilla toys. So
true.
But you go there and there's thousands of new Godzilla fans that their first entry point was the MonsterVerse, and that's a great function for these films.
Yeah. I mean, I can't say it any better than that, Jay. So let's just leave it at that, and we'll get the fuck out of here, and we'll go see this movie tomorrow.
And Lion Maru is very happy.
He is. Yep. Everybody needs one of those. All right, guys. Jay, if you don't have anything else, we will get out of here, and we will see you guys next time.
Adios.